What's up everybody? So in this video we're going to be taking you through the interior tool tote that I use on every job and just explain a few tips about interior cleaning, because this is the most requested video on the channel. Everyone seems to love the interior work that we do here and just want to learn a few tips, so we shall go through that. But first I'll put the kettle on. Welcome back to Hotchkiss Performance. Okay, so to save the video going on for too long, first of all, apologies, I look like an Eskimo. It is pretty cold today and we are sat outside, obviously, in the car. I'll just take you through the interior tool tote that I carry around the car with me as I'm working. And it's got everything I need to be as efficient and as quick as possible to do a quality job, because it's all about efficiency, and as we all know, time is money. So obviously, as you can see, you can just get these from Screwfix. It's pretty big, it holds plenty of stuff, as you can see. So we'll start at this end, where I can manoeuvre it properly inside the constraints of the vehicle. Just various brushes. I have labels on them, like that is a dry brush for just general dusting. A couple of toothbrushes. I generally try to colour coordinate with red and blue, as in red is generally the wet brush and blue is the dry brush. Same as sort of you have a wash and a rinse bucket, if that makes sense. So I'll only use that one for wet work, so for really tackling things with all-purpose cleaners, and then the dry brush is for anything that's you need to use dry. And then these are just general, general, they can be used for pretty much anything. All on the interior though. Obviously none of these will touch the exterior, and any exterior brushes won't touch the interior. So those are the brushes. Then here we just have various cloths. Wow, this is awkward. I'll generally have sort of a dry, clean cloth, and then again just a wet cloth for general use. And also a clean green monster for the really, the grimy work, so like the floor pedals and just the stuff that you don't really want to get your decent-ish cloths. You don't want them getting grimed up with nasty stuff. So clean green monster is great for interior as well. Most people probably use them on the exterior, but great for interior. And then we move on to chemicals. I usually only use two, which is a all-purpose cleaner, just general, generally 10 to 1, 20 to 1, something like that. And then a degreaser, in this case Built Hamber Surfex HD, that is KKD A Clean. So those are the chemicals. Degreaser for anything, pretty nasty, and then the all-purpose cleaner for everything else. Over in this compartment is just stuff for pet hair removal. So you've got the rubber pet hair brush here and there, just a couple. I keep these separate to the rest of the stuff because they're not used as often as, everything else. Inside we have various Hoover attachments. This is just a brush that you will get with any sort of pneumatic Henry Hoover. These are good for dusting areas before you tackle them with any wet chemicals. So you're hoovering up the majority of the dust. The reason for this is, rather than just wiping dust away with a load of microfibers, you can just hoover it off, and then you're wiping sort of a semi-clean surface. So you're not just scooping all the crap up with your microfiber, and then your microfiber gets dirty really, really quickly. You may as well just get the majority off and the worst of the dust with a brush. So these are great for dashes and things like that. Then we have another sort of bit tougher brush, generally used for carpets. You know, you can really scrub with these and it'll hoover up any dust that you release from scrubbing with this. So again, this is a dry brush just like the other one, so this won't be used when we move on to the wet vacuum stage. And then we have my famous red and green brush that I've done another video on. We'll leave a card somewhere on screen to explain what those are for. Basically, that is for seats, that is for carpets. Another brush for the really grubby areas. This is generally used for spare wheel wells, things like that. So I'll use this instead of using this, you know, the parts of the vehicle that are really nasty, and you don't want to be using the same brushes that you're going to be cleaning customers' seats with and carpets, because it's just not a very hygienic thing to do. And it's, you know, it's not just about cleaning car, it's about the car being fresh and hygienic for your client. So always keep a separate brush handy just for really grubby areas. Then we have a couple of Viking red brushes. This is really thin, so you can get down the sides of seats with it. And this one's just a bit of a small. This one's pretty aggressive, I have to say. I generally just use that for any really stubborn areas on carpets. This one's a bit softer, but great for getting down, you know, the sides of seats, which is a real pain for detailers, as you know. This little beauty is probably the best thing in the kit. Obviously you've got your microfibers, which you will use to wipe away residue and sort of clean with. Now these are pretty soft, you know, they haven't got much aggression to them, much scrubbing action, if you will. It's more of just a wiping product, but for plastic that's got grooves in it, you need something with a bit of aggression. Interior cleaning sponge, scrubbing sponge, they're not really harsh enough to scratch any panels other than probably gloss black trim, but then you wouldn't need to scrub that because it's a flat surface, not a groove surface. But for any groove plastics that are pretty nasty, this is awesome. You can really, you know, agitate the cleaner with, and it scrubs really deep into the grooves of the plastic rather than just wiping the surface. So really would recommend them. I believe Auto Smart sell them, and you could probably get them on eBay as well. But there we are. Now, as far as the interior trolley, tow, whatever you want to call it, goes, that's pretty much it. And now I will demonstrate how I use it and the sort of steps I take when cleaning an interior. So when you first get into a vehicle, people tend to concentrate on what's at eye level. So they'll look at the dashboard, the steering wheel, then they'll probably cast their eyes lower to the seats, the carpets. Not many people look up. You have got visors here. See a little bit of dirt there. People are touching these, especially women when they want to do their makeup, and they're going to get grubby just like any area of the vehicle. So the visors, the sun visors, also the sun visor glass, the sun visor mirrors, they want cleaning. You know, people forget them because they're not at eye level. They don't look up at the roof lining. The grab handles that you find generally on either side of the vehicle, along the pillars, people just don't look at them, and they get just as heavily contaminated with grease and grime because they're a heavy contact area. People are touching them all the time, they are using them all the time. So I always start top to bottom. Any cleaners that you spray onto this is going to drip down onto the floor, onto the seats, onto the dashboard even. So always start up there, and you're working down, so you're never working over yourself. If you start on the carpet, then clean the seat. All the cleaners from the seats are going to run back into the carpet. You're going to need to, excuse me, hoover it up again, which is just totally inefficient, and it's going to do you no favours. So all I'm saying with that is just take note of the, excuse me, just take note of what's above you. But generally what I will start with is the hoovering and get all the plastics, the seats, the carpets all hoovered, so then you're working with a surface with no bits and loose debris that's just going to get trapped in the fabrics and sort of work its way into the fabric as you're cleaning it. You want all that out before you start any wet work. So this is on a different vehicle, but you get the idea, just for demonstration purposes. No, this is not my hair. This is after a, well, more than one trip to the vet with the dogs. So we'll make sure to hoover all that away so it isn't flying around the car as we're driving. I am an animal lover, but they don't half make a mess when it comes to cars, and a lot of detailers and valeters really don't like pet hair. This is just showing the dust that I mean when you need to hoover it up before you take your microfiber cloth to the surface. I usually just use a detailing brush to sort of disturb and agitate the dust so it all falls to the carpet area, so we can hoover that up later, rather than, like I say, just going in with a microfiber cloth, which is just going to get dirty very quickly and full of dust. This particular brush in question is available in a 3-pack from XL Detailing Supplies, as this is the XL shopping channel after all. Much softer than the cheaper eBay varieties. So first thing is always to remove the car mats as sort of carefully as you can, to ensure that any bits and dirt that are on the mat can just be safely lifted out of the vehicle without having to be poured into the footwell that you'll just have to hoover up later. This is a daily driver, so it does get dirty pretty quickly, especially in the winter months when your shoes are generally quite muddy, so you're going to be kicking the, the sill area of the vehicle and dirt will accumulate. For anyone wondering, they are just harnesses for the dogs, so they're safely attached to the vehicle when driving. once I've got the worst of the pet hair up and the dust and the grime, I try to sort of hoover as well as wipe, as you will disturb more hairs that can easily be hoovered up after. I will tend to shake the cloth from time to time, so any loose hairs in the fabric will be lifted from the microfiber and fall into the seat that can easily be hoovered up. Better to do it at this stage than go on to another vehicle and then have the cloth full of hair that's just getting everywhere that you're going to have to hoover up anyway. What I tend to do here is tuck the microfiber under the edge of the rubber, as dirt will kind of get under there that you can't always see as it's tucked under. So this will help to lift and disturb the dirt that's under that lip, and just makes for a cleaner edge from the plastic to the rubber. I do get a lot of people ask me how I tackle car glass to stop any smears or anything like that. The product in question is Auto Smart Glass Glow, which is like a glass polish, a sort of creamy texture. I will apply using a Clean Career mini applicator, again available from XL Detailing Supplies. Inside of the windscreen is always a pain, but just try to get everywhere that you can. With these types of products, I will always use a finger swipe test to make sure that the residue is dry. Otherwise you're just going to smear it all over the glass because it's still wet. And to buff off, I will use a KKD Streak Buster. These won't leave any sort of linting or fibres that can sometimes be pulled from the cloth when cleaning glass. It's a really short pile, and I just think they're brilliant for this type of work. When it comes to hoovering, I tend to just work from the top down, and once I've used the standard crevice tool, I will then use the brush attachment that I showed earlier in the video, which helps to just sort of disturb and loosen any trapped pet hair or dirt, so you can vac it up again with the crevice tool to make sure you've got a nice clean surface. These mats do really need a wet vac, to be honest, but I'm not going to bother doing that until the end of winter, as you're just going to have to do it every day to get all the dirt out. So I'll wait until the worst of the weather's over with and then give them a thorough wet vac